Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. On today's conversation, y'all, look, comedian, host of Real Time with Bill Mahr, as well as Club Random Podcast, Bill Mahr. He slams the Emmy Awards as well as the left-leaning Hollywood groups for not acknowledging the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk at the award ceremony. He's blasted them on a recent episode of his program Real Time with Bill Mahr, and yeah, you know, it has a lot of folks shaking their heads like, what are you talking about, Bill? And then also, or not even asking, what are you talking about, but in the sense of whose side are you on in this? I'll share my 2 cents with it later on the show. In addition to that, longtime Congresswoman out of the DC area, she might have her toughest opponent yet in 30 years. Yeah, you heard it right here, 30 years. So we're going to talk about it. And also I want to talk a little more about the recent suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live, the cancellation of the long time late night show on ABC that was abruptly canceled after a monologue that, in my opinion, it wasn't, he wasn't telling a lie. He was making an assumption. He was assuming. And on top of that, y'all, what is the standard that we keep up, or that we keep our late night hosts to? They're not news journalists, for crying out loud. They're entertainers. They're comedians. You either going to enjoy them or you're not going to enjoy them. So we're going to talk about it here on the Arrington Gavin Show. But as always, y'all, thank you so much for taking 1 hour of your time to tune in to yet another great episode here on the Arrington Gavin Show. You could be doing so many other things with your precious time, but I appreciate the fact that you take that time to tune in to the Arrington Gavin Show. For those who happen to be watching us on YouTube right now, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with family. We want to keep growing those viewership numbers, subscribers, the whole 9 yards. So please, again, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with friends, and share with everybody. We want to keep growing, and we're seeing huge growth with our YouTube channel. We could not do it without you all. So let's keep that momentum train going. In addition to streaming us on YouTube, you can also stream us on Goatverse TV. That's right, Goatverse TV. And if you haven't done so yet, please do so. Download their app. Download the Goatverse TV app. It's available on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. So multiple ways you can get access to that. It's filled with so many amazing programs like yours truly, the Arrington Gavin Show. In addition to that, they have the hit singing competition show, Full Package, and so many other great programs there. So again, support independent media and black-owned media too. Oh yeah, that's right, I'm a big advocate of black-owned media. And we're gonna continue on. If you want to just listen to us, if you want to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show audio only, you can do so by following us wherever you listen to your podcast. We're available on all major podcast platforms. And you can also listen to us on the radio airwaves. Shout out, you probably listen to us right now in the New Orleans area by way of WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. Thank you for those who continue to support that station, one of the longest running black-owned radio stations in the country. WBOK 1230 AM. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time, only on WBOK. And then we're going to move it on to the Metro Atlanta region to WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can tune to the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. So now we're going to move it on, y'all. Before we head to commercial break, I want to shout out some dear friends of mine. I want to shout out Morris and Roxanne Smith. Morris and Roxanne Smith. They're some of my good friends. They recently celebrated their 25th wedding anniversary. And in addition to that, Morris also celebrated his 60th birthday. So my queen and I, we went to go and celebrate those two wonderful things with them. They had a beautiful party, and it was amazing. You heard from words from friends and family, just nothing but kind words. And I want to shout them out because, y'all, it's always great to surround yourself with great folks, right? I always say, keep your circle, your inner circle. And if you're like me, I'm a butterfly, man. I'm a sociable person. I have a lot of close friends, but I make sure that they're friends that can help motivate me to be a better individual. You know what I mean? So I just want to, again, wish them nothing but wish them many more blessings and many, many, many more years of love and Black excellence in the whole 9 yards. So again, I want to shout out Morris and Roxanne Smith. Also, Roxanne's business, Alpha Clothiers. Alpha Clothiers is an amazing brand. Look it up, ALFA Clothiers. So it's a wonderful company, and she has created pieces for everyday people, including stars in the sports world, the entertainment world, and it's dope. So I just want to again shout out them out as well. But y'all, look, we got a lot more show for you here on the Arrington Gavin Show. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to talk a lot about this recent cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel. Is it an attack on freedom of speech? Is it an attack on freedom of speech and freedom of press? We're going to talk about it. Don't go anywhere, y'all. We'll be right back with more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't change that dial.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up. Yeah, this that new GOAT verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GOATverse TV.
GOATverse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In GOATs, we trust.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs. And we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023 and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin. Look, so I want to talk more about this recent news story that broke out. Former Georgia Lieutenant Governor, Republican Geoff Duncan, which we have spoken about him before here on the show when he left the Georgia GOP, the Georgia Republican Party. Again, this was an individual who was an elected official in a red state. Georgia is a very red state. He was the former lieutenant governor. He was very open about not supporting, he was very public about not supporting Donald Trump. He even went to endorsing Kamala Harris in the recent presidential election as one of the many Republicans who had done that, who endorsed Kamala Harris at that time, Vice President Kamala Harris, who was running for president of the United States. But Geoff Duncan, he's not done yet. He's not done yet with politics. He had been a familiar face on CNN as a contributor, but now he's wanting to enter in the political race and run for governor of the state, running for governor for the state of Georgia. And so what's interesting about this, y'all, I want to talk more about this party switching, because the more and more I speak with individuals, different groups, there's folks that are not fans of people that party switch, and there's some folks that says, hey, look, I think that's very brave and bold of them to do so, because maybe they have an epiphany and like, hey, look, you have a wake-up call, and like, I can't be a part of this party. This is not right for Americans, and vice versa. So I've had a lot of elected officials on this show who have been either a Democrat and left and became Republican, or Republicans that left and became Democrats. I've spoken with them all, or folks that left their political parties and became independents. Now, I'll share you this. Do I think people can change? Yes. But when it comes to switching from one establishment to the other, I'm not a fan of it. I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of the whole party switching. I understand it a lot more and respect a lot more if one person will leave and become an independent. That I understand. But to say I'm going to go from one party to the other, it's iffy. It's iffy. And that's no disrespect to folks who have done that before, because, hey, look, we've all as voters have probably changed viewpoints throughout years, right? There's a saying where younger people tend to lean more Democrat, more liberal. And then once they enter into the workforce, hey, maybe even become a bit successful, get a little money in their pocket, they decide to become more conservative. And the older they get, they become more conservative. So I understand you changing viewpoints or political values, things in that nature. But again, going in Georgia, being a Republican all your life in Georgia, and now all of a sudden you turn to a Democrat. It's interesting. It's interesting. He was an independent for a short period and then became a Democrat. So he has recently announced that he's going to be running for governor for the state of Georgia. Now, here's what he had to say in regards to making that decision. Here it is right here. Here's a soundbite.
To win for Democrats, because at the end of the day, Donald Trump will be the default governor of this state if one of his handpicked puppets wins. That's just the way this is going to crumble. Donald Trump will be in charge of our legislature. He'll be in charge of our streets. He'll be in charge of our schools. He does what he does. And I don't think a majority of Georgians want that, especially Democrats. But also, look, you got to have somebody who's courageous enough to take on Donald Trump. You know, this guy has created a toxic environment, and I've certainly pushed back on him as hard as I possibly can. But I also think for Democrats, they're in a unique position. This is an opportunity to win for the first time in 27 years. It's been since 1998 when Roy Barnes got elected governor that Democrats have had a chance to be the governor here in Georgia. And I think this is an opportunity for me to not only bring Democrats, independents, and disgusted Republicans to vote for me in November of 26. I don't want to make this sound like this is a simple task. I mean, I've got to climb a hurdle as a freshly minted Democrat, but I'm willing to put in the time and effort. It's important to win for Democrats.
So you hear him saying, I have tackled Donald Trump in this administration time and time again, this and any other. At the end of the day, Donald Trump is not running for governor for Georgia. Yes, he's the president, and governors of states have to get to know who's in Washington, more once you hold that position. But at the end of the day, look, we're just talking about you trying to win an election. What is going on in Georgia, right? You have a governor, you have a congresswoman in Marjorie Taylor Greene that you have to work with. Yikes. Okay. Yikes. You have majority Republican dominance in the state of Georgia. So again, it's interesting the fact that he is saying, hey, I'm a minted Democrat. I know it's going to be a huge hurdle because yes, you're going to have to earn the trust of Democratic voters in the state of Georgia. In addition to that, you, sir, was shunned by the Georgia Republican Party. Why? Because you did not support Donald Trump as president. So my question would be, okay, did you leave the GOP because your feelings were hurt because they just basically kicked you out? Or would you have stayed a Republican even if they would have said, hey, look, we still stand by you. We support you being having mostly Republican values, even though you didn't vote for or support Trump as president. You're still welcome to join the GOP because you do have more conservative values. You probably support most conservative leaderships conservative elected officials in Georgia. But hey, he's saying he's willing to put in the work, and it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work, my friends, when it comes to party switching and earning those votes. And my thing is, strategy wise, does it help them more in a campaign to rally up independents and Republicans in Geoff Dunn's case? Geoff Duncan. I kept on saying Dunn. My apology. Geoff Duncan. Does it help him or hurt him? Does he have a chance of winning the governor's race? That I don't, because I mean, the last time Georgia had a a Democratic governor, it's probably been a while. Again, it's a very red state. So it's a common thing. I feel like since Trump has entered into politics, we've been seeing a lot of party switching, whether if it's folks that have been Democrats that say, hey, look, I agree with President Trump is doing. I'm gonna just leave the party and go Republican, or Republicans saying, bro, this man is not conservative. This man does not represent the party that we're in. I gotta go. I gotta leave. I gotta get out of here. What do you say? What do you do? I've said time and time again, you can change, but you go from one establishment to the other. Like everybody says, hey, the Republican Party is a party of money. I'll be honest, both parties have money. Let's not forget, Kamala Harris raised damn near $1 billion for her presidential election. There are wealthy Democratic supporters. There's money on both sides. Now, if you say, okay, which party lacks empathy? Yes, you got it absolutely right. Republican Party lacks empathy because all they care about is themselves, and that's it. They don't care about the working class. They don't care about they care about the almighty dollar. Now, on the Democratic side, they lack a backbone. I personally think they do not support one another. They do not support a winning strategy. Yes, they play by the rules, but has the rules won them elections recently? I'll let you be the judge of that. Let me digress from this story, y'all, and I want to move it on to comedian, host of Real Time with Bill Mahr, as well as host of the weekly podcast Club Random, Bill Mahr. So Bill Mahr recently has shared his frustration on the recent Emmys. Okay, the recent Emmys, which is held annually. You get to, they nominate, a best talk show host or TV show, vice versa. It's a popular Hollywood award program, award ceremony, and so Bill Maher had recently blasted the Emmys and the left, saying, "Why are you guys like being so cruel?" And you did not even acknowledge that the passing of Charlie Kirk. So let me play you this soundbite, and I'll share you my take on that. So hold tight, my friends, as I play this clip of a recent episode of Real Time with Bill Maher. He had on, by the way, his panel on the table was former West Virginia Senator, U.S. Senator Joe Manchin, who was a longtime Democrat who had left the Democratic Party shortly before he had retired from politics. He now has a new book out, so he's going on this media tour promoting his book. He also had Wagner. She's from MSNBC. Oh Lord, what is her name? Alex Wagner. There we go. Alex Wagner on. So let me play this soundbite.
I mean, the left does have this bad attitude of go no contact. I mean, that's a big thing with your family. They believe in not talking to members of your family. I mean, at the Emmys, would it have killed someone to get up there, since they all want to talk about their politics, would it kill somebody to get up there, not give a speech about how much they like Charlie Kirk, just to say, we had a political assassination this week, and that's wrong, and they would have been booed off the stage because he was on the wrong team. So you're not even allowed to say that. Can you imagine if a left-wing person was assassinated that week? The whole show would have been about that. Is that not just true? Can't you admit that?
So here's the thing. So what Bill Maher had just shared was nobody had acknowledged the passing of Charlie Kirk. He said, "Hey, look, you don't have to say the man's name, but just say, hey, look, we recently had a political assassination. Is no place for that. Can't somebody say that?" But no, they didn't, because hey, he wasn't on their side of the political spectrum, on the political viewpoint, and so no, they're just cruel. And see, Bill Maher has always said, hey, look, he's very liberal, right? He leans more liberal than conservative, and he does. He has a great track record of going after really both sides, mostly conservative, but when he attacks the left, it's either attacking the woke or, in a case like this, not standing up to, in his mind, political violence and using the platform as you should. Here's my thing. And this would be the counter that I would tell Bill. I'll be like, Bill, what good has then, and had Charlie Kirk ever say about Hollywood? What has he ever said good about the Emmy Awards? What has he ever said good about, again, in your opinion, the left-leaning Hollywood industry? What has he ever said good? What has he ever said good? yes, use your platform, speak about political violence. I think if people really respected an individual and they say, hey, look, set aside from political values, I did not agree with Charlie Kirk at all, but at the end of the day, a life was lost. I just hope, y'all, that we can just please put an end to this division and help put an end to political violence. But here's the thing. In my mind, that is a great thing to say. That is a great thing to say. But what platform do they have? Who are they addressing this to, Bill? Who are they addressing this to? Are you basically saying kind of cold word that, hey, look, I agree with the right, and saying like, yes, the left started this whole political violence act and this and the other? Like, is that what you're saying? Is that what you're implicating there? Or is that what you're implying? That they need to quiet down their aggressive liberal and progressive activists out there who are violent because they're the harm. Like, what are you implying? Like, for one, those the people that get up there and win an award stuff, they have the right to say whatever the hell they want to say. And in Hollywood, you have very liberal, you have folks of the LGBTQ community, you have folks of the Black community, you have folks who are from again, total opposite of Charlie Kirk's perspective and viewpoints. I don't think anybody even acknowledged when there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And hey, sometimes people need to be the bigger person and say, look, set aside from politics, we got to do better in our country, y'all. And he's not wrong in that case, but I think sometimes that was Bill's way of making sure he keeps his conservative viewership for acknowledging that. Again, that was a awful example to say that the left would have killed him. They would get booed off the stage. They would do. He always toasts that line. He really does. He really does. And being an independent, we get accused a lot of saying, okay, look, you lean center right or you lean center left. You never get credit that you are balanced. You aren't balanced. Everybody tries to promote themselves as balanced. You got a whole network at News Nation that promotes balance, even though you have a lot more, say, one-sided viewpoints on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's funny. There's a gentleman, his name is Leland Vittert. And look, I'm a News Nation watcher. I watch News Nation pretty regularly. Leland Vittert hosts a weeknight show there called On Balance. Leland rarely has his fair moments. He usually leans a little more one-sided, in my opinion. But you have to watch him to get your take on it. And so I use that as an example to say people will always say, hey, I'm centered, I'm balanced, this and that, but then they go another route. Going back to Bill, I think Bill was a bit wrong on this one. And I would tell him that. I would say, look, for one, what did you expect? Two, yes, you're right to say, hey, look, we got to have people use their platforms to talk bad about issues that occur in this nation. Totally right. But then three, what you just did was give more ammo to the party that's accusing them of all this havoc. Because the first thing when they see that, Fox News is like, oh, we gotta air this because he just attacked the left and basically called them monsters and yeah. That's how the game is played, y'all. That's how the game has been played 24/7. So that's just me. That's just me and my take here. But we will continue to see Bill do this back and forth thing, and it's been the bread and butter of his show. His show is never been attacked like Jimmy Kimmel show is. Now the difference is, I will say, the difference between, say, like Bill Maher's show, Jimmy Kimmel show, and Stephen Colbert's program. So Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel show was a simple comedy late night show where you have a host do a monologue. They'll bring on a guest. They have a house band. They'll end it with a musical act as well. They might throw in a couple of skits from time to time. You don't get that with Bill Maher. Well, you don't get skits in a sense. Well, you kind of do in a sense. So Bill Maher opens up with a monologue, but see, also Bill Maher, his show is not made for entertainment. His show is made for conversation. Remember, Bill Maher used to host a program called Politically Incorrect. He's always been that comedian that discusses politics. That's always been his brand from the start. That wasn't Jimmy Kimmel. Well, Jimmy Kimmel used to have a show. Oh God, what was it called? With was it called? It was something Man Cave or Man's Club. Hold up, I'm looking it up right now as we're talking. It was called, what the hell was that show called? God dang. The Man Show. It was on Comedy Central, The Man Show. And he co-hosted that show with Adam Carolla, who is one of his dear friends, and they remain best friends still to this day. Adam Carolla was or is, I would say, more conservative. He has his own program called the Adam Carolla Show. And so you can say Jimmy Kimmel had kind of played, and I wouldn't consider that a political show, but they spoken on like a little bit of everything, but it was on Comedy Central. So how can you, it's Comedy Central, so how can you take it seriously like a political program? Well, look at The Daily Show. Daily Show is a political driven, show with comedy. You need to have that kind of shows, in all honesty, because politics already sucks in general. People don't like politics. People are in trouble in times. But having a humor side to it makes it easier to understand. Because I'll be honest, for folks that look at politics as boring and doesn't have someone of a door to open so they can kind of have more of an understanding, programs like The Daily Show, like Real Time, those shows, they benefit. They really do. They help out. Now, going back to, I mentioned the difference between Bill Maher's program, Stephen Colbert, and Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert were more entertainment related. Okay, that's it. Bill Maher has never been attacked on his viewership and this and the other. There was never he might get canceled. But now you go to Stephen Colbert and even Jimmy Kimmel. You see why folks are like saying, I don't know. This is a bit iffy here. It's more to it. This is attack on freedom of speech. And we'll talk about it, because no one would assume, especially whenever you see a show that gets canceled immediately, indefinitely, or abruptly, that raises questions like, whoa, this is serious. Like, if you cancel a program, usually you let them finish out the year. That's what you're seeing done at Stephen Colbert. Stephen Colbert had announced, like, look, the show after this year, we would have no more of Stephen Colbert, nor would you have any more of the Tonight Show, or the Late Show. That is totally, is wiped out. Now, will there be a replacement with Jimmy Kimmel? We will never know, but it definitely raises eyebrows. Now, we're about to take another commercial break, but when we come back, I'm gonna talk about longtime Congresswoman who will be facing her toughest opponent, probably in 30 years. Yeah, this lady has been in office for a long time. We're going to talk about it, and then I also want to talk about this case with Jimmy Kimmel, ABC, FCC, and a lot more that folks might not be aware of. So we're going to talk about it here on the Arrington Gavin Show. So do me a favor, do not change that dial. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
Gezarin Learning Institute, LLC, is a hybrid learning center that strives to educate adults and children in all fields. During the day, we offer programs that are focused on developing students from pre-K to 12th grade, which includes tutoring, homeschool co-op, an after-school program, SAT, ACT prep, and many more engaging academic programs. Our adult education programs include workforce trainings, GED prep, life coaching, various seminars, and many more. Our vision is to train and educate in a positive way that will lead to a positive change in the world, one person at a time. For more information, visit us online at GezarinLearningInstitute.com or call us at 757-208-7407.
Our risk from injury from a fall or car crash increases as we age. But getting older doesn't have to mean giving up on the activities you love. Take simple steps to avoid injuries, like doing activities that improve strength and balance. Get yearly eye and wellness exams, and talk to your doctor or pharmacist about the medicines you take. Also, tell your doctor if you've fallen or worry about falling. Learn more about aging without injury at cdc.gov/stillgoingstrong.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Next up, I want to talk about longtime Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton. I'll say it again, Eleanor Holmes Norton. And for those who don't know who Miss Norton is a long time, when I say long time, she's a long time Congresswoman who has, I believe, out of the DC area, who has been in Congress. I'm going to do the math for you here. She has been in Congress since, let's see, as I pull, since 1991. 1991. She has been in. Yes, she is a congressional delegate to the U.S. House of Representatives. She has represented the District of Columbia since 1991. Now, that's a pretty long time. Now, here in my home state in VA, we have a Congressman, Bobby Scott, who has been in office, I want to say, since 93. Now, you know how I'm an advocate of term limits. That's no disrespect to those who serve, but it's just at the end of the day, you want to see new face. You want to see new, you want to see the baton passed on to the next people. Like, groom them, mentor them, and get them ready, get more young people. Because look, there's a lot of young people that do want to pursue public office. There are tons of people that want to pursue. I mean, perfect example. Look at Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani is in his 30s, early 30s, mid 30s, I believe, and he has a strong chance of becoming the next mayor of New York City. It's been a while since he never got a lot of the older elected officials to support him and endorse him. But Miss Eleanor, as I mentioned, she has been there in office since 98. She was she also, prior to serving Congress, she organized for student nonviolence coordinating committee during the civil rights movement from 1977 to 1981. She was the first female chair of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and she is currently she's also currently a part of the Democratic Congressional Progressive Caucus. Let me give you her age, by the way, y'all. 88 years old. 88 years old. I'm sorry, but, and it might sound a little ageist what I'm about to say, but I think that's one of the big issues with just politics in general. You have these important roles that they face, Congress and Senate, and the average age is like, shoot, I'm gonna say in their mid 70s. There's you know how many, like, you rarely see folks that are the age of like an AOC or I don't know who are some other young people that serve. I mean, Hakeem Jeffries is technically quite young, being an elected official. Lauren Bobart. There's a small Byron Donald. There's the small group of more younger people, I guess, in office, but there's a majority of folks that's like, okay, you need to retire. You need to, give it this seat. I mean, you stay in there forever. I mean, look at Maxine Waters, James Clyburn, Mitch McConnell. These folks have been in office for Susan Collins. I mean, they're old. Okay, they're old. And so now Miss Holmes Norton could possibly face her toughest opponent in 30 years, and his name is Robert White. He is a DC council member who says that he's going to bring energy and fire, which I kind of chuckle when I heard about the energy. I'm like, hey, was that a jab at your opponent because she's an older, she's 88, like he's gonna bring the energy to the DC seat. So this article I'm gonna read to you here is reported by WTOP News. Says here that the DC's non-voting delegate in Congress, Eleanor Holmes Norton, will face her toughest opponent, her toughest political challenge in more than 30 years if she chooses to run again in 2026. Now, to my knowledge, she says she's nothing stopping her from office. She's going to continue to fight the good fight, this and the other. So an at-large DC council member, Robert White, has recently announced his run for the seat and has expressed admiration and gratitude for Norton, who's now 88 years old, and her decades of service for DC. Of course, we applaud them, but it's time to move it on, Miss. White said during the moment when DC is having its home ruled challenge, the district needs a leader with fire and energy to defend it. And in this article here, a few questions was asked to Mr. White. Is this a tough decision for you? So Councilman White responded by saying, absolutely a tough decision. Like almost everybody in the district, I see Congresswoman Norton as somebody who has been a lion, just an icon in that seat for so many decades. The only member I remember in my lifetime, and I altered my legal career to work with her. But this year, like other DC residents, we have just been brutally attacked by this administration and Congress. Our money's been stolen. We have mass agents, federal agents in our streets, our bills being overturned, and the Congresswoman, after so many years of great work, just can't defend the district the way that she once did. Again, that is implying that, yes, when you started, you were a warrior for us, and you have been for so many years. But after a certain amount of years, it's time to move on. That's what I can't stand, when folks, in my opinion, abuse that position and what's the word I'm looking for? They overstay their welcome. They overstay, and they don't want to leave. And I'm like, I mean, I read something. I think Nancy Pelosi, out of California, former House Speaker, she's seeking a reelection. Like, what are we doing here, y'all? What are you doing? James Clyburn out of South Carolina, he has not said if he's going to be seeking a reelection or he's going to be retiring soon. He's in his 80s. I mean, these folks, what is the deal? What is the deal? Second question was asked, what is she doing that is falling short right now, in your opinion? Robert White said, we need a member who can be fully engaged in the debates, going to every member of the House and Senate and letting them know why this moment matters, not just for DC, but for the country. And I've spent most of my summer on Capitol Hill trying to cover that gap. But I also talk to residents every day who have this fear in their eyes about what's happening because they don't see the defense that we once had. And this is a body, this Congress, where DC has one elected member. They're supposed to be helping us with the cost of housing, safety in our streets, funding for our schools, and they're not on the ball. So we need somebody with that fire and that energy in that building making Congress work for DC and what I plan to do. So I'm not going to continue. If y'all would love to check out this article, again, it is reported. You can look it up. It's reported by WTOP News. But it brings a question, y'all. Like, what's your stance on term limits? What's your stance on term limits? Are you for them? Are you against them? Do you blame voters? Because at the end of the day, it's like, hey, what do you expect if you don't get out there and vote for an opposing person? Or do you think there are folks who are scared of the establishment? Are they scared of the fact that this person's been in office for years? They face opponents or probably never had opponents, but they've been in there for years. So it'll be difficult to try and kick this person out. I mean, you got to look at it too. For years, a lot of these longtime elected officials, they know the way how elections work. They know the strategy by now. They know the proper way how to raise money. They know what is good. They built relationships with successful individuals. I mean, why is it that we see folks that are in office for so long and they have not been elected out? Like, what's your take on it? What's your take on that, y'all? For those who leave us a comment. For those who happen to be watching this video, for those who listening to us right now, look, visit our website, www.theagshow.com. You can send me your take on that. Again, the question is, are you for term limits or are you against term limits? Give me your take on it. Give an example. I truly appreciate it, and I'll share it here on the program. So let's go ahead and move it on from this story. And I want to spend, I think I'm looking at my time here, but let's spend our last moments talking more about this whole new, in my opinion, revenge tour on left-leaning voices and left-leaning media, because that's exactly what it is. First of all, let's just be blatantly honest. This is a revenge tour from the Trump administration for those who have, in his mind, attacked him by using their platform. He's look, you got Stephen Colbert getting canceled. You got Jimmy Kimmel getting canceled. It's a revenge tour, because there was at one point there was a there was a cancellation of or there was cancel culture on conservative media. It was. Now you can share your take on why that occurred, but there was a moment where a lot of figures in conservative media were getting canceled, and I've explained on the last one of the previous programs where that's where the start of, say, like outlets like Rumble, was a platform that was created for conservative voices who have been, either canceled from YouTube. There was a change of ownership in Twitter from the previous owners to Elon Musk, who was a pro advocate of freedom of speech. So he bought it, and it turned into, my opinion, outlet for conservative voices. He brought back Donald Trump, who was recently banned from the platform, but Donald Trump ended up starting his own social media platform called Truth Social. Let me share you again. I just want to find the clip of what Jimmy Kimmel had said, and then I will. I got a couple more sound bites that I want to share, because I want to share some more of what the public, people in the media space, gave their thoughts. Folks that are on the same side of Jimmy Kimmel and folks that are on the opposing side. So let me go ahead and rewind the clock back and share what Jimmy Kimmel had said that got him let go.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish. Okay.
So Jimmy Kimmel doing what he always has done. He will pick on the president. President doesn't like that. President likes to be praised. He likes people to kiss his feet and all that good stuff. Jimmy was doing what he's been doing for the whole time. Now, folks have been saying, hey, look, Jimmy knew that it was going to be a moment where the administration was going to, they were going to come after him, because he always has made jokes about the president. Now, just like SNL and other folks have made jokes about the sitting presidents. They've always made, jabs and jokes, but it's late night. Come on. Have some humor. But was Jimmy's side a place of, hey, we're friends, but I'm gonna make jokes. I'm gonna pick, pick on him a little bit, but it's not out of hate or dislike. But Jimmy was not a fan of Donald Trump, and he was saying a lot of, or always opposing viewpoints of this administration, and he was showing more favoritism to the left because he had tons of liberal voices. Well, I'm sorry, that was more Stephen Colbert, but Jimmy Kimmel, yeah, he was not a fan of Trump at all. But I don't think what he had said was, to me, worth getting fired over. I really don't. But see, what a lot of folks don't know is Nexar, which who owned the ABC, had owned some ABC stations, a majority of ABC stations. They were trying to secure a deal with Tegna for about $6.2 billion to get more stations, to grow. But they needed approval from the FCC. Oh, okay. Because they wanted to give Tegna $6.2 billion. They need approval from the FCC. Now, the FCC chair is one of the architects for Project 2025. Now, I don't need to backtrack Project 2025. You heard it from time and time again of the controversial things that was involved in Project 2025. It was in basically an executive power that favored mostly right-wing policies. Oh, now, do you think that's fair for something like a Project 2025 to be the business plan for the nation? Something that's obviously very one-sided? No, it's not. If you all are thinking it, absolutely not. And so, let me see here, just to give you a little basic on it. Okay, so Project 2025 supports dismantle government bureaucracy that is, they believe, unaccountable and biased towards liberalism. The critics have called it authoritarian, Christian nationalist, and autocratic. Legal experts say it would undermine the rule of law, the separation of powers, the separation of church and state, and civil liberties. So, again, I just want to give you a small little brief background of Project 2025. One of the architects is the chair of the FCC. The chair of the FCC. See, it all comes down to dollars and cents. That Jimmy Kimmel was hurting money. He was hurting the company's chances on acquiring Tegna. And so they can stay on the good side of Washington. They said, okay, we'll approve this $6.2 billion if y'all do one thing. Y'all gotta let such and such go. Because here's the thing. The right's going to continue to say his ratings were awful. They've been awful for years. He's not even that funny, and this and that and the other, and blase, blase, blase. Let me tell you something. I read something recently where, due to the cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel's show, stock shares have dropped for ABC. So obviously Jimmy had some impact on the show, and the show was on there for over 20 years. Y'all, I'm looking at my time right now. We're going to continue a part 2 talking more about this case with, the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel's show, as well as the attack on, is this an attack on freedom of speech? We're going to talk a little more about it here on the Arrington Gavin show. But until next time, y'all stay blessed, stay safe out there. If you have not voted yet, because currently it is early voting season happening. So please get out there and vote. And remember, voting is your power. Okay, voting is your power. Be sure to tune into the Arrington Gavin show weeknights, available on all digital streaming platforms. Peace and blessings, y'all. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.